Good morning, children of God. Good morning. See, then you can start right from there. What a glorious day it is. Having climbed to certain peaks, you'll descend no more, but spread your wings and fly beyond. Isn't that super? I love that one. O loving Father, Mother God, in the silence, we acknowledge your presence. Here, in this moment, we acknowledge our oneness. Here, in this moment, we are grateful. We come together this day to share with one another, to worship, to sing, and to pray in the name, in the nature, and in the power of the Christ. Amen.
Today's daily word is energy, and this morning the reading of the daily word will be by Phyllis.
Good morning. I am a divine energy expressing as vitality and life. God created me with the physical, mental, and spiritual capacity to live a fulfilling and meaningful life. Whether I'm active or resting, I am vitally alive. While my body rests, my mind may dream of my next endeavor. When I'm physically active, my mind clears as I focus on the task at hand. In the silence of prayer and meditation, I still my body and mind, tapping into the source of strength and energy within. No thought or distraction interferes with the flow of energy in and through me. I am recharged physically, mentally, and spiritually. At work, at play, and at rest, I channel my energy into activities that bring joy to myself and others. Energized by spirit within, I live an abundant life. And from John, I came that they may have life and have it abundantly.
Good, thank you. All right. And so we've actually been in that time of spiritual growth now since about 14 February, if I remember correctly, Ash Wednesday. We are into Lent. And in keeping a true Lent, the whole idea is to look at your opportunities for spiritual growth. And that's what we'll be talking about all month, finishing up on the 31st with Easter Sunday. So this whole month, let's look at spiritual growth in a lot of different ways. One of the ways that we hold to the truth of who we are is when we regularly affirm the truth of who we are. Let's take our statement together. I am a child of the living God. I have within me the all-creating power of the Christ. It radiates from me and blesses all whom I contact. I am now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I am now in the presence. The Father and I are one. And having spoken these words of the truth of us, we choose now to rest. As we have stilled our bodies, Now we still our mind. We let all those thoughts and feelings of what I should have done gently dissipate. We allow all those thoughts and feelings of what I have yet to do this day to just be set aside, and for one holy moment we move into our secret place. That place within us where there is no question, where there is no doubt. Jesus called it our inner closet. Here we close the door and listen. We listen for that still small voice. Here in our prayers, we've learned to ask. Here in the silence, answers come. This day, in this moment, all my needs are met. This day, in this moment, I affirm my oneness. This day, in this moment, I know that I am a channel through which good works, a channel through which good flows into my world. This day, in this moment, I allow good to flow through me, from me, into my world. First into this room, into this place. Here, joining with other thought of like mind. Lifting. Raising up. Moving. Touching each and every one of God's children in this moment. The Father and I are one. With each breath I take, I allow this flow to continue from this place into our community, touching each and every one of God's children. In this moment, we are one. Across our state, across our country, touching each and every one of God's children. In this moment, we are one. Around our world, throughout our universe, touching each and every one of God's children. Knowing we are never separate one from the other. In this moment, we know somewhere, some when, someone is saying, thank you, thank you, thank you for the gifts that you have sent, the gifts of love, of peace, of joy, of harmony, of order. These gifts are exactly what I needed in this moment. I too am grateful, and that gratitude swells up and returns to you. in this moment, we are one. Knowing this truth, we allow this flow to continue for one holy moment. Knowing there is more yet for me to do this day, gently, easily, and effortlessly, we bring our attention back to this place, to this now. And holding to this experience we have shared, we join together and pray as Jesus, our elder brother, has taught us when he said, "Pray therefore in this manner." Don't you just love it when you have the opportunity to have to abide by your word? How many times have you heard me say that when a circumstance shows up in your life, first thing you should say is, thank you. The second thing is to look at the opportunity for healing. I had opportunity all week long. I don't know that I'm done yet, but a lot of stuff is happening. Okay? And a couple of things happened, and it came in light of this notion of conservation, because conservation is about substance. Conservation is about energy. And conservation is about our spiritual energy, of which there is no limit. That's what conservation is all about, more than anything else. That being said, let's move forward. So I'm laying in bed, and I'm thinking to myself, isn't it wonderful that this body temple is so creatively designed and moving forward through this circumstance? And this thought flashed in my head. And the thought went like this. My immune system is designed to fight off and kill dis-ease. What an oxymoron that is. I realized that, well, no wonder my world is still showing up with war and famine and fighting and everything else. My whole body, I'm telling my body that that's what's going on. Every time something shows up, let's go find it and kill it. I went, that doesn't sound like I'm doing much conservation. In fact, that sounds like I'm working really diligently to disintegrate this body temple. Yeah, but Rob, that's what our system does. Not necessarily. Let me invite you into a little language shift, because this is part of what came with it as well. What if your immune system were designed to identify disease and to love it, surround it, transmute it, and allow it to be eliminated from your system using all the functions that you have? He said, with 2.5 boxes of Kleenexes later. And a lot of trips to the Nevermind. That which no longer serves me is being eliminated. This body temple is designed to eliminate that which I no longer need. And we've talked about the notion of that which I eliminate is not necessarily bad, just elimination, for it can be useful for others in God's creation. And why am I the one who decides whether it's good or evil? We had an interesting conversation a little bit ago about trying to regulate belief systems and how we behave. And we have a governmental agency, as an example, who has declared that carbon dioxide is a deadly gas. So every time you exhale, deadly gas. Oops. There's something wrong with this picture. Part of what's wrong with the picture is this whole notion of good and evil. This whole notion that there is only one way and then there's the other way and there's right and wrong and all this stuff that goes in there, and it's part of our experience that began from the fall of grace, if you will. When we began to eat from the, eat meaning knowledge, from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And so stuff comes in and labels us, and we're helping each other and our lymph systems, the stuff we know about lymph systems, the stuff we know about our immune systems, we've learned over the years, 2 steps removed from throwing bones and waving smoke. But we know a lot more now. But it's the same notion, the notion of good and bad, good and evil, if you will, the notion of dis-ease. And we then treat symptoms. How many of you in the last week, besides me, ate a lot of cough drops? And there are people I've been hearing going, quietly, very good for you. But we've been doing it. Oh, and I heard the comment here today, you know, that's been going around a lot. And it has. I got it from my wife. Not true. And she got it from somebody at work. Not true. Okay. How does stuff show up in your world? Because you need a lesson. You need to have an opportunity to learn how to heal. You need to be able to rethink some stuff. So when I share with you about our immune system, that's only me. I know every white coat in the world is going to go, you're nuts. Thank you, I am. But what happened, I have to tell you this because here's the next part of that. In the moment that I made a conscious decision not to fight. Not to fight, not to struggle, not to kill, but rather to love, envelop, transmute, and eliminate. My headache went away. There was no clouding in here. And as long as I held that thought, I was perfectly whole. Now, Rob being Rob, did I hold it forever? No. I'm still learning. But it was fascinating to me. Fascinating. In that moment, for those few minutes, if you will, up to about an hour and a half, I think, before the rest of me went, well, oh yeah, which is part of my learning process. But in that period of time, no sniffles, no migraine headache, no cold, no nothing. Just peace, oneness, wholeness. This body temple, in that moment, was working exactly the way it was designed, not the way I believe it's supposed to work. And that was, for me, mind-shattering. I now know how to do it. Wow. Question. Will you do it? I'm working on it. Because now I know how. I've seen what cooperation does for me. When I can take away the label of bad and just say, this body temple has a system that's designed to work in love. When I allow it to work in love, there is no dis-ease. There is envelopment, transmutation, and elimination of that which no longer serves me. And if it's true for this physical body temple, it is true for this brain as well. What thoughts are you holding on to that when you can wrap them in love, transmute them to the truth of who they are, and eliminate them by setting them aside, will make your world spin in a brand new way? And it's been fascinating for me all week long. Just absolutely fascinating. I've been working at catching it again. And it's working pretty good. Pretty good. And it'll work better, and it'll work better, because now that I have a process, now that I have a mental image, now that I can put that to work, the more I put it to work, practice makes? No, better and better. You're already perfect. You're already perfect. So practice makes better and better and better. Better at what? Better at get to that picture of perfection. This body temple works when I work with it. This body temple regenerates. Our scientific brethren tell us that. Mostly we don't believe them. Or we believe them with a caveat. Well, of course that works for you. Not so much over here. But see, you and I are beginning to learn how to take these pieces, these processes, and put them to work. We're taking the law with a capital L and putting it to work. Now, the reason I talk about law with a capital L is law with a capital L works for everyone, every time, without exception. A little L, law, that's one of those changeable things. Today, the traffic speed is 25 until I get a new sign. Now it's 35. Right? Little L. Right? A big L is you and I are one. That is the truth of who we are. The Father and I are one. That is the truth of who I am and the truth of who you are. That is a T with a capital truth and the law of giving and receiving and how it works. We know that is a law. It works for everybody equally. And some people say, wait a minute, what do you mean equally? And then you had a picture of somebody who was more equal than others. Right? But you're not looking at the law, you're looking at the result of the law. And it's the same thing with dis-ease and disorder. We look at the symptoms, not the cause. Can I invite you to go to cause? When dis-ease shows up in your world, go right to cause. Dis-ease is mine. I own it. It's all on me. I am the one who can heal it. I am the one who can remove it in me. And if you choose to take it, God bless you. That's what Linda said when she gave it to me. No. Right? And we play with this kind of stuff, but it's in our head, see? It's still this whole motion of out here, from out there in, rather than from in here out. But what made my whole week, absolutely made my whole week, was the notion that I've shared with you, that you have the ability to come from love, because that is the core of you, the truth of you. That is the Christ of you. The ideal of God in man is the Christ of you. That's the truth of who you are. That's the oneness. That's the perfection piece. And that you have it within you. And that you can put it to work in every aspect of being. And that was what was new for me in this case. Is that I had the ability to bring it in and change my thinking and change my belief about how this body system, this body temple worked, and to teach it and treat it in a new way. I don't know where it's going from here. I really don't. But I'm really looking forward to it. It's exciting. It's exciting when you have the opportunity to reach out and touch the truth of who you are. When you have the opportunity, as the frame this morning has talked about flying, to just reach a certain peak and don't descend anymore, but fly beyond. You are so powerful. And these are the kinds of things that when they occur in your life, say, wow, that's really something. Those are those aha moments when I can put them to work for me in a new way. And each of us will have them in a different way. Why? Because we are individuals. We all each are individual aspects of being. Every one of you has something different to offer our world than I do. And my job is to look through this surface stuff, go right to the aspect of the truth of who you are, polish the heck out of it, and say, thank you. Thank you for being part of my world. Thank you for training me. Thank you for teaching me. And I got to tell you, because I like to give credit where credit is due, that an awful lot of what occurred this last week was came from discussions with our friend Donna Berry. Because over the last period of months, she's gone through some really tough times from the appearance. But in it, she said this, and I will never forget this. I had an opportunity to really look at my life and look at my relationships and form them and see them in a new way. And I went, that was cool. Thank you, Donna. Now I bring it home. Same thing with Bernice Lemke. I've had the opportunity to watch her grow through issues. And many of you, I've had the opportunity to watch you grow through issues. You are my teachers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You give me space to work, to grow, to share in a new way. And like I said when I started this morning, to figure out that isn't it fun when you say something that sometimes you actually have to do it. It's so much easier to say, you guys handle it, I'm good. Right? Instead of coming back and bringing it from within out. So when you find yourself saying, I'm just a little down, where do you find the energy? Come inside. It's right here for you. Sometimes it's as easy as this. I breathe in life. I breathe in life. I exhale that which no longer serves me. I breathe in life. Now, I don't know that it's true, but I like it. I defy you to do that more than 4 or 5 times and not feel your body change from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Feel it. Why? Well, each time you take in breath, your lungs work, your heart pumps, and the blood goes all the way to bottom of your feet, top of your head. In that moment, you are engaged in life. See, because you didn't put any parameters on it. Only give me the good air, okay? Doesn't work, does it? Eh? But sometimes that's what we think. I've heard this before. I didn't come to church last week because I was starting to get a cold and I didn't want to give it to anybody. Bless you, by the way, when you say that, because it's your belief system. But here comes the kicker, is you can't give it to anybody. Now, they can choose to accept it, and it's okay if they do. Another opportunity to heal. Somebody said to me one time, you know, the thing that just intrigues me about your church is I've never seen so many wonderful, happy, smiling, sick people in my whole life. I went, okay, I'm going to have to think that one through a little bit, but all right. Why? Well, we're all here for healing of one kind or another. There's something going on in our life where we need to make a shift in our thinking. We need to get back to the root and the core of who we are, the truth of who we are. We say the words, but trying to get them from here in our intellect to here in our heart, and then expressing them in our world, that's sometimes the challenge. So we look for methodologies. We look for ways. What I have given you this morning worked for me. I will make no guarantees that it works for you because I don't know how this is working for you. I don't know whether you can see your immune system working. I don't know whether you can feel it. I know we've talked about conscious breathing before. If you haven't done it before, I highly suggest that you work with it and try it. Literally feel each and every muscle of your chest expand as it takes in air. Feel air as it goes in. Feel the exchange. Feel the exchange of oxygen into your blood system. Feel your heart moving it from right here in the center to all parts of your body. Feel it returning back to the lungs. Feel as it transfers once again. And you do that unconsciously. What would your world look like if you did it consciously? And I had one guy, when I mentioned that, he said to me, Rob, I wouldn't have time to do anything else. I'm just too busy breathing. And I gave him this piece for what it's worth. If our scientific brethren are correct, that you only use about 10% of this, trust me, you've got more than enough time and enough percentage to spend some time being conscious, be aware. And the more you become aware, the more this expands. That's what flying is all about. That's what's moving above this is all about. That's what awareness brings to you. When you become aware of who you are, when you become aware of how this body temple of yours works, when you can be in oneness with it, when you can breathe in life, expel anything that no longer serves you, and live in a whole new way. When? Right now. I don't have to wait. See, that's the other thing. You hear this one too. Oh, this particular one is going around, takes about what? A week? 2 weeks? 3? This is a 3-week cold. Really? Okay, I got the 3-week one. You got the 2-week one. Oh, come on. We don't know. It's here, right? We buy into. No, I got the cold that says this is an opportunity for me to heal. Oh, thank you, God. I got the one that said, pay attention to what's going on in your body temple. You're going to feel a lot better, I promise, because I love you. And that no matter what you express in your world, I'll continue to love you. That's the truth of who you are and who I am. When we say the Father and I are one, when I say to me and say to you, the Father and I are one, it's not a good bumper sticker. Well, it is a good bumper sticker, but it happens to be the truth. The Father and I are one. In that oneness is perfection. In that oneness is the opportunity for me to express perfection. And if I don't, God loves me anyway. And that love permeates every cell of my being. And if you're not sure how to get there, if you need another step, it goes like this. I love you. I want you to take a picture of your whole world. Everybody in it. Even the people you don't like a whole lot. Put it all there. Big picture, you got it? I love you. Together. I love you. Now you need to mean it. I love you. Oh, good. That feels much better. When you can love, you can bless. I bless you. Together. I bless you. My world just changed. Your world just changed. I appreciate you. Together. I appreciate you. And then the breath of life. As I look at each and every one of God's children, here is the truth. I behold the Christ. Together. I behold the Christ. In that moment, we are one. Namaste.
Thank you for listening. Please feel free to pass this message along to your friends and family. You can obtain additional audio tapes or CDs by visiting our website or by calling our office at 541-772-6902. We invite you to join us in prayer. We know that prayer works, and now you can send your prayer request to our prayer team here at Christ Unity Church by using the form on our website. The activities, programs, and services of this ministry are presented on a love offering basis. All gifts, regardless of size, are gratefully accepted. You may participate either by sending your gift to Christ Unity Church, 540 North Holly Street, Medford, Oregon, 97501, or by visiting us on the internet at www.unitymedford.org.